Breaking news out of Calumet County, a horrifying account of what prosecutors say happened to Teresa Halbach on the day she was murdered. It's our top story on Action 2 News at 4. Good afternoon. Stephen Avery's 16-year-old nephew, Brendan Dassey, is now also charged in Teresa Halbach's murder.
The 25-year-old photographer disappeared last Halloween after going to Stephen Avery's property to take a picture of a car. Investigators later uncovered Halbach's charred remains, and Stephen Avery was charged with her murder. Then Monday, his nephew went to police and eventually confessed to being involved. Now, for the first time, we know what police think happened during the last few hours of Teresa's life. Jason Allen is live in Chilton, where investigators released those graphic details a few hours ago.
And Sarah, the details about those last few hours of Teresa Halbach's life were so graphic that at times it seemed the special prosecutor, Ken Kratz, had a hard time even talking about it, and it was hard for some of the people who were in the room to listen to. Investigators say they know now that Halbach was imprisoned, sexually assaulted, stabbed, and strangled before she died. The special prosecutor and Calumet County Sheriff walk into the room today with a warning. Teresa Halbach's last hours, they say, were so brutal they didn't want friends or family to hear them. Investigators say Stephen Avery was already assaulting Halbach that Halloween afternoon when his 16-year-old nephew, Brendan Dassey, came to the door with Avery's mail.
He asks Brendan if he would like to involve himself in a sexual encounter. It's not the words that he uses, but he asks his 16-year-old to participate.
At his uncle's offer, police say Brendan Dassey then becomes part of the assault.
Both of her arms are shackled, both of her legs are shackled with leg irons. Teresa Halbach is begging Brendan for her life.
Police say Avery and Dassey then talked about how to kill Halbach. Police say Avery stabbed her in the stomach. Dassey told him he then cut her with a knife. Avery strangled her, then drove her body around the family salvage yard, eventually shooting her body at least 10 times before he and Dassey began to burn it. Investigators say this information they got from Dassey does confirm a lot of the theories that they had about what happened. And in their words, it makes a lot of the evidence that they found now finally make sense. Reporting live in Chilton, Jason Allen, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Jason. Investigators are currently on this Avery salvage yard property searching for more evidence. Elizabeth Reese is live in the newsroom with more on that part of the story. Elizabeth?
Well, Sarah, the Avery property is blocked off tonight, and one officer tells us they'll likely be there throughout the evening. Sheriff Jerry Poggle says after conversations with Brendan Dassey, investigators believe there is more evidence to be found on the Avery property. In particular, they're looking for blood evidence.
We have removed sections of concrete from the garage on the Stephen Avery property. We are also removing items from Stephen's bedroom, from the hallway, from closets, and from other areas within Stephen's house.
Now, Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz wouldn't say if DNA evidence from Brendan Dassey has been found. He does say genetic evidence that may have been destroyed by bleach or another cleaning product may have seeped through concrete on the property. That's why sections of it are being pulled up and analyzed. Reporting live in the newsroom, Elizabeth Reese, Action 2 News.
Elizabeth, thanks. Reporter Catherine Bradshaw talked with Brendan Dassey's brother today to find out how his family is feeling about his arrest. She joins us now live in Chilton with this part of the story.
Jeff, 22-year-old Brad Dassey says his brother Brendan could never have done some of the startling things he's been accused of. He tells me he thinks Stephen Avery coerced Brendan into getting involved in Teresa Halbach's murder. Brad says he and Brendan share the same father and a lot of childhood memories. Brendan's a very shy person and doesn't always stand up for himself, Brad says. He doesn't think Brendan's capable of hurting someone.
No, he's not like that. Brendan probably wouldn't even hurt a fly, but Brendan is a shy kind of guy. He's not just going to come out and say, oh, sure, I'll help you do this, you know, if someone asks him to do something like that. He would probably get scared inside and not know what to do.
Brad told me today his father is understandably very upset by this news. We tried to get in touch with Brendan's father and his mother and stepfather today. None of them returned our calls. Reporting live in Chilton, Catherine Bradshaw, Action 2 News.
Catherine, thanks. Now, Brendan Dassey is a sophomore at Michicot High School. That's where Chris Duffy joins us live with that part of the story. Chris.
Well, Jeff, school here got out less than 1 hour ago, and one teacher told me that students and school officials both have been asked to not speak with the media today due to the delicate situation at hand. Now, after school got out, teachers lined the sidewalks, making sure students proceeded without talking to us. However, one student did talk to us. He says he sees Brendan at lunch every day, and he doesn't seem like a troublemaker because he says he's respectful, always smiling, and is nice to his teachers.
I think his uncle might have forced him because Brendan, I don't think he would do it by himself.
And says most people in the school, just like him, are shocked after hearing today's news. Reporting live in Mishicot, Chris Duffy, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Chris. Just to recap today's breaking news, 16-year-old Brendan Dassey has now also been charged in the murder of Teresa Halbach. Stephen Avery, his uncle, is currently in jail awaiting trial in Halbach's death. Police say Dassey came to them on Monday detailing what exactly happened the day the 25-year-old died. He told them how he and Stephen Avery sexually assaulted, stabbed, and tortured Halbach and then disposed of her body. Investigators are still on Stephen Avery's property this afternoon searching for new evidence.
Other news now,